There you go. So day 15 already. Yay. So one of the things I want to offer all of you who are participating in the 30 days is to maybe take 15, 20 minutes with each one of you at your own convenience to develop a home practice that you can do and continue after the 30 days. So I'll send an email about that, and then you'll have that information. And then we can make a date. So let's start in our mountain pose. Take a deep breath in and a long breath out. And so last week we've been working on dissecting the sun salutation. Today we will be more working on, working is a big word because that's not what I want to do. We're going to focus a little bit more on stress relief. But before that, let's start to warm up the body, connect a little bit. And since we've been doing sun salutations last week, let's do that again. So I want really for you to do, we're going to do 4 sun salutations. So if you have your own variation of sun salutation, please do it. I will guide you to the first 2 ones, and then I want you to do the other ones for sure on your own. If for you it's just standing, that's fine too. Like, it's really important. It's early morning for most of you, so it's really important to connect. The goal is to really start to go deeper into the body. So let's bring the feet parallel to each other, whether the big toes touch or not. Again, take a deep breath. And then inhale, reach the arms up. First one, forward fold. So be gentle, bend your knees in time, slowly start to go down. Focus on the breath. Hands on the thighs, roll the shoulders back. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold forward again. Place the hands down, bring the right leg back, and come onto the right knee. And then inhale, keep the hands on the thighs, or reach the arms up. And let's stay here for 1 cycle of breath extra. Exhale, release, opening. Inhale. Exhale, bring the hands down, tuck the back toes, lift your back knee and come into plank or plank onto the knees. Inhale, as you exhale, knees, chest, chin down. And then inhale, come into your cobra. So very gentle cobra. Focus on opening the chest here, rolling the shoulders back, elbows back. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, come down, tuck your toes, and slowly come into your downward facing dog. So lifting the hips, pressing the hands. We'll stay here for 3 breaths. Keep your knees bent for now. Focus on finding that length into your spine, especially if you haven't moved yet before this. Take your time to really maybe move a little bit with your hips so you can find a bit more length into your spine. And then with your next exhale, start to pedal out your feet, lengthening the legs. And then coming back to your downward dog, lifting the right leg up, and then bringing the right foot between your hands. So if you don't come all the way, place your foot on the ground, grab your ankle, and move your foot forward. Left knee on the floor. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale down. Tuck your back toes, lift your knee, and now hop your left foot forward. Inhale, long spine. Long legs as well. Exhale, fold. And then gently bend your knee, press into your feet, and come all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart, and then come back into your mountain pose. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, long spine. Exhale down. Left leg back, left knee on the floor. Inhale, reach up, and let's stay here for one extra cycle of breath. Exhaling. Inhaling, reaching up or hands on the thighs. Exhaling, bring the hands down, tuck your back toes, and come into your plank. Knees, chest, chin, or if you want to do chaturanga, inhale, cobra. Stay here for an extra breath. Open the chest, roll the shoulders back and down. Exhale, come down, tuck your toes, and downward dog for 3 breaths. So depending where you feel some stiffness, maybe you want to focus on your upper body, maybe on your lower body. But take deep breaths in and long breaths out. And then come into your full downward dog. Lift your left leg up and bring the left foot in between your hands. Right knee down. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, come down. Tuck your back toes, lift your knee, and hop your right foot forward. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, fold. And then bend your knees and inhale, come all the way up. And exhale. So 2 more rounds like this. So 1 each side at your own pace. I'm not going to talk. So take your time to finish your practice. And then when you're done, you can bring your hands in front of your heart or alongside. Close your eyes, observe your body, your breath, your mind. If you feel your heart beats a little bit faster, you might just want to lengthen the exhale. And then we're going to slowly come down and we're going to sit cross-legged. So if cross-legged is not comfortable, come and sit higher. And if your knees are really painful, then sit onto a chair. So I want to show a few options here. So you can take 1 or 2 blocks, you can take a chair, whatever you however you think you need to be high. So, and there's a ton of ways to cross your legs. I want you to be comfortable. Make sure your knees are not popping up too high. And make sure you're seated well. So you don't want to, we're going to fold forward. So you don't want to fall forward. You want to remain seated. So I'll show an alternative if the knees are not happy like this. So what we're going to do is lengthen the spine, place the hands in front, and then slowly walk the hands down. So as you walk the hands down, you'll probably feel that your bum is lifting. So that's not what we want to do. So maybe you will need 1 or 2 blocks, and then rest your forehead onto your forearms. So whether your forearms are on the blocks, on the chair, or on the floor, we want to get this nice relaxing forward fold. If your knees are really not happy, what you can do is take a couple of blankets or pillows and then place them behind you so that you can sit higher. And then from here, you can bring your arms on a chair or even on the blocks or even on the floor. And we just want to relax. We want to have the forehead, though, pressing onto something. So this is a version of a pose in restorative that's really good for migraines as well. And often when we're stressed, we get migraines quite easily, or like a thumping headache. So really lean forward, stay seated. Have the back round. Make your inhale and your exhale very long. If you need to exhale through the mouth to release a little bit more stress, go for it. Deep, long inhale and a deep, long exhale. And then take 2 more breaths here. See if you can stay with your long breath. So throughout the practice, we really want to continue to have that calm breath. And then very slowly press your hands into the floor, the blocks or the chair, and slowly come up. From here, coming on hands and knees. And with staying with the breath, we're going to do 5 rounds of cat and cow. So the breath is going to be more important than the movement. So let's find our neutral spine, the wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. And then reconnect with that long and deep inhale and long and deep exhale. And then the next time you start your inhale, lift your tailbone, drop your belly. Feel how your spine starts to curve 1 vertebrae at a time. Roll the shoulders back, lengthen the neck, and then look up. And then as you exhale, tailbone goes down, belly button goes up. Slowly the spine starts to round and round. Press into your hands.
The neck follows the rounding of the spine, and then bring the chin to the chest. Press into your hands. And go for 4 more cycles of breaths. Again, the breath is what we're looking for.
If you forget to move because you're focused on your breath, that's perfect.
Let your breath be your guide.
You might notice suddenly that you lost the connection with the breath, that you're in your mind,
That something popped up. Just acknowledge it. And then go back to your breath. Just feel the movement of the spine, the connection with the shoulders, the opening of the back, and then the opening of the chest.
as you curve the spine and look forward. Let's do one more time.
So it's a very gentle, very slow movement.
And then coming back to a neutral spine. We're gonna turn the head towards the left. So looking towards the left, see how far you can go. And then as you exhale, coming back to center and then turning towards the right with your inhale. So again, working with the breath, that's really what we're focusing on today. Going to the other side. One more time. And then coming back to center. So we're looking down. Now press your hips to the left and look to the left. So we're creating almost a C with our spine. And then look back down and then press your hips to the right and look to the right. Let's do this one more time each side. So creating those C curves with our spine. And then coming back to center. Let's start to make little circles with the hips. So again, stay with your breath. The movement is really not that important today. So take your breath in, and as you exhale, start to press your hips to the right, to the back, and then start inhaling hips to the left, and then come to the front a little bit. So gentle movements. Long and deep breaths in and out. And don't hesitate to exhale through the mouth. It's going to release a little bit more of the tension. And then when you're at the front, change direction. You can start to add your elbows, your head. So starting to move freely, all the while turning, making turns with your hips. You can lift your head, looking up, looking down. Don't think too much. And then coming back to center. So now we're going to bring some relief in to the upper back, which is very often stressed or a sign of stress. So come and sit onto your heels. We're not going to stay here very long, so you can always put a blanket underneath, but we're going to lift up. Come into your child's pose, so folding forward. And place your hands onto your heels. So the fingers are pointing to the center and the thumb is on the outside of your foot. And then really bend your neck so your chin comes to your chest, and place your head on the floor, and then start to lift your hips up. So we're gonna give a big release to the upper back. You can really hold onto your feet here. See if you can still breathe consciously. The breath is a little bit more difficult. Our throat is closed off a little bit.
2 more breaths here. And then let's come back. So bring your arms to the front, make again a pillow with your arms and place your forehead there. So the next one is going to bring a bit of relief in the shoulders. Bring the hands behind us. This time you don't have to hold the feet. We're going to actually interlace the hands behind our back. And again, bring the chin to the chest, head on the floor, and this time start to lift your arms up, rounding the spine. See if you can roll the shoulders back, and then maybe going a little bit more forward. So now the chest is a little bit more open than before. The chin is still to the chest, so see if you can breathe into your belly. Feeling the belly go up and down. And then slowly release, bring the hands down. And again, resting the forehead. So you see that a lot of those stress relieving poses are bring the head lower than the heart. And that's exactly what it is. That's how you get to balance the nervous system. So between the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system. We will do one where we not head down, don't worry. And this is okay for low blood pressure. Just be mindful when you come up that you do it slowly. So let's slowly come up. Now turn around. And if you have a chair, I would suggest that you take the chair. And we're going to slowly come up. So take your time to come up, please. Don't force it. And stand, separate your feet a little bit wider. Find your stand. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, really, you can do it loud if you want to. This time, inhale, lift your shoulders up to your ears. Let them drop down. One more. So keep your blocks close because we're going to use them. Place them in front of you and then separate your legs. So we're going to fold forward, placing the hands into the hips. Roll the shoulders back, elbows back. Hands lower a little bit so that you're touching in the hip crease and then slowly coming forward. So you can adjust the width of your feet and then the block. So if you're still warming up, I would suggest you take the chair to put your forehead on. You really want to have your forehead onto the block. So as you can see, I put one block in the lowest, and then I put one block in the highest stand. And then I really rest my head onto it. If this is still too low for you, then take the chair and do exactly the same thing. You might want to put like a pillow on the chair. Then you can bring your arms on the chair or just let them drop down. So in this position, you're a little bit less slow with the head. Make sure your breath is calm. If you're stressing in this pose, come up and do it higher. So I'm totally releasing. Maybe your legs are working a little bit. If it's too much of a stretch, make it a little bit smaller and come higher with your head. Observe your breath. How is your breath in this position? Can you continue taking those deep inhales And long exhales. Let's stay here for 3 more breaths. And then very slowly pressing the hands down, bringing the feet a little bit closer to each other, so almost hip distance apart. Bend your knees and then very slowly come up. So be mindful if you have issues with blood pressure, high or low, the heel of the hand can come in between the eyebrow if you feel a bit dizzy. So you can put the blocks to the side for the moment. Come into your Tadasana. So close your eyes for a minute. You might be swaying. So if that's not comfortable, keep your eyes halfway open. So stand, observe your breath. Keep your left arm alongside your body. Reach your right arm up. Press your right foot down, lift your right fingers up. So finding that length onto the right side. Inhale, and then very slowly going over to the left. So today is really not about going to the max of the poses. It's about staying in the breath, which it should always be. But sometimes our practice just turns out differently, or our focus is different. So inhale, lengthen. Exhale, let it go. See if there is any places in your body where you really tense here and that you don't let go. Don't question it too much, but see if you can breathe out in that specific spot. And maybe it's okay to go further, maybe not. So just keep observing where the breath is bringing you. And then slowly coming back, bringing both arms alongside. Stay here for 2 breaths in the center. And then inhale, reaching up. Pressing your left foot into the floor, reaching the left fingertips up. Inhaling. And then very slowly letting go towards the right side. Are you still breathing that long breath in? And maybe even longer breath out. And then slowly coming back and staying in the center for 2 breaths. Bring the arms in the back, interlacing your fingers, rolling the shoulders back, bring the elbows back. So my elbows are still bent. I'm trying to bring them together, feeling the opening in the chest. And then as you lengthen out your arms, lift your chest up so your shoulders are automatically going up and back. Inhale, lift up the chest, strong legs here. So you don't want to be swaying all too much here. Take a breath in, especially in the chest, but make it long. Don't make it a short breath. And then from here, keeping the tailbone pointing down, the pubic bone is stable. See if you can maybe go a little bit more back. So gentle back bend. You can look up to the ceiling or just look forward. Opening the chest. Don't push your hips forward. You're gonna compress the lower vertebra a little bit too much. If your breath stops, come back, find the breath back. And then slowly coming up, bring your neck back in line with your spine.
and start to fold forward from your hip crease. So don't go too deep, keep the legs straight. And if you want, you can lift up your arms, but keep the shoulders rolling back. So your chest is still lifting up. My hips are pushing back. I'm just stretching in my legs a little bit, especially if you have a work day in front of you, this will do good. Inhale and exhale. And then very slowly bend your knees, release your arms. Inhale, press into your legs, come all the way up and reach your arms up. And then exhale, bring the arms to the side. Open the arms. We're just going to do a gentle rotation. So separate your feet just a little bit. So just so you're a bit more stable. Opening up, roll the shoulders back. Bend your knees, not as far as in chair pose, but bend your knees, strong center here. You don't want to push your belly button forward or your pubic bone down, so your tailbone down. So it's really very neutral. And then from here, start to turn towards the right, bend your right arm, bring it in the back, bend your left arm and grab your right shoulder with your left hand. Bend your knees. See if you can keep your knees pointing to the same direction. Lengthening the spine. Exhale, gentle rotation. So again, if the breath stops here, you're going too far, and this is really not our focus today. So inhaling, exhaling. You can look back if that's okay for your neck, otherwise you just look forward. And then exhaling, coming back to center, press into your legs and arms back down. Inhale, reach the arms to the side, bend your knees. Take another breath in, lengthen the spine, and now right hand grabs the left shoulder, left arm in the back, and bend your knees. So as you breathe out, maybe you can go a little bit further. And then slowly coming back to center and press into your legs and come all the way. So we're gonna move back to the floor. And we'll do one really opener. So if you have a blanket, you can take your blanket. Or if you have a pillow, just make sure that it's quite regular. So you're gonna roll the blankets like this. And then, so I'll just show you here, you're gonna put a blanket so that it's coming right under my armpit. So if I would bring my arms like this, it's just below my armpits. So, and then you place this down on the floor. If you know that your neck has a tendency to drop back, you might want to take a pillow for your head. And then now you're gonna go and lay down on that roll. So your shoulders are falling off, your head is on the floor. I'll tell you what your options are with your legs in a minute. So if you feel the floor is way too heavy, then you can always put something softer underneath. If you have low back issues, see if you have another blanket for under your knees. And then from here, open your arms in a T. So as I said, if you feel your head is falling back, you might want to just put a little blanket under your head. You don't want to make it too high, otherwise nothing is really happening in the opening of the chest. So options for your legs, you can just stretch them out, leave them in Shavasana, so feet rolling out. You can cross your legs and be like this. So just cross-legged. I wouldn't suggest to bring the soles of the feet together unless you bring support under your thighs, which you can do with a block. And another really nice thing to do is to bring a bolster, if you have one, under your knees, and then cross your feet, and then you can be here. So choose what's comfortable. The focus is really on opening the chest so we can breathe a little bit easier. We've been breathing quite deeply. So we're just going to observe now. How is the breath? What is the quality of our breath in this moment? Can you relax your forehead? Can you relax your jaw? If you feel that your blanket or your support is pushing too much, make it a little bit lower. Some people, just a tiny, tiny blanket is enough. So really opening the heart space, the lungs, the ribs in a supported way here. Your shoulders are dropping. So are you holding into your shoulders? Can you just let them go? Maybe they touch the floor, maybe not. If they don't touch the floor, make sure you don't have to hold in them. We'll stay here for another couple of breaths. So you can stay here longer if you want to. If it's enough, bend your knees, roll onto your right side, and take the support away. If you had something under your knees, you can keep that. Or if you want to add something, we are going into a little bit of longer relaxation today. So if you need a blanket or socks or whatever to keep you warm, please do so. So first, relax your legs. So maybe move your feet a little bit. Feel that the movement goes all the way up to the hips. So shaking it out a little bit and then drop your feet out. Making sure that the shoulders are relaxed. The head, so that the chin is not pointing too much up. So this is really to do with the frontal brain. When it's a little bit more tilted towards the heart, it's already giving a calming effect. Not to the point that you close off your throat, but just a little bit. So you might want to just place your hands under your skull, pull the skin of your skull away from you, or eventually put a little blanket under your head. Don't put it under your shoulder. And now place one hand on your belly, so about at the height of your belly button or a little bit lower, and the other one on your chest. First of all, feel the touch of your hands on your body. Maybe after a while you don't feel it, it becomes one. And now just observe the breath through the movements of the belly and the chest. So not changing anything, we just want to observe. Staying connected with that long inhale and that long exhale. So as I said in previous practices, we don't want to go to 100% of the inhale. We don't want to feel suddenly that we're stiffening in our breathing. So keeping the breath fluid, inhaling long, exhaling longer, maybe. And then let's change the hands. So the one that's on the belly comes on the chest, and the one that's on the chest comes on the belly. And then again, observing, does that make any difference? Maybe in the observation, maybe in the touch. Your arms are relaxed. So if you feel that you have to keep your arms up, again, use blankets or pillows under your upper arms so that you can really rest. And then from here, both hands on the belly. So when we're very stressed, we're breathing into our chest. So maybe you don't feel anything into the belly for now, and that's okay. Don't worry about it. Don't push it, don't force it. Just a touch of your hands on your belly might feel good. And see if you can come into the mind of a flower. So a flower in the morning doesn't think too much. It feels the sunlight, the sun coming up, the warmth. And then it just opens up and flowers, gives its beauty to the surroundings. So can we come into that mindset and just letting life be without too much thinking, worrying, especially on things we have no control over. Can you flower? So if for you, you want to place your arms into Shavasana arms, you can go ahead. You can keep your hands on your belly. It's really up to you how you feel. So these are times when we stop and remain still. And we listen and discover the breezes that go on within us. Can we stay in that observation of those breezes, the wind, our breath, and as we stop and remain still, can we calm down the storms? Or can we bring a gentle breeze within us? So I'm going to invite you to stay here if that's what you need. If you have the time, stay a little bit longer. If it's time for you to start your day, then do this very slowly, reconnecting with that long and deep breath, and then moving toes and fingers and nose very slowly, making your way in your own way to a comfortable seated position. Otherwise, just stay down, listening to the wind inside of you and to your breath calming down. If you're seated, bring the hands in front of your heart. Gently tuck your chin. And remember that the breath is the master of our lives. Without our breath, we're nothing. Our blood cannot pump, our heart cannot beat, our mind cannot work. So remember that if your mind is going crazy, if your heart is beating really fast, to return to your breath and focus on this deep inhale and exhale, sitting still and coming back to your breath. Thank you for sharing today's energy, today's breath. I wish you a wonderful day. Namaste.